Hey, folks. It's a little bit of Friday tea with JG. Today, I wanted to talk with somebody who helps other people. One of the things that I love is working in an industry that truly can make a difference in people's lives. And there are a lot of other industries that can do that. One of those is a business coach, somebody that can really help turn somebody's life and career around. So today I'm here with Zach.
Yes, sir.
And I just want to ask him some questions, have kind of a free-ranging conversation. So Zach, please introduce yourself.
Okay. My name is Zachary Gandara, sometimes by Zachary Pike with my writing name. I am the owner of BreakBox Coaching and Creative, and we're a wellness and performance coaching firm specializing in taking awareness from typical therapy and creating actionable change.
So that's really interesting. Help me understand, how does your perspective, how is it different than another business coach? And the one thing that I heard right off the bat was that therapy. So help me understand how you're different than a regular business.
Yeah. So I had this conversation yesterday in a meeting with someone who was like, "Oh, you're in change management." And I'm like, "Yes, I change management."
Nice. I like that.
And there's a difference. So I often work with a conflict resolution. I partner with a conflict resolution company sometimes, and we do business together. And what she'll do is she'll focus on kind of the surface area root, like surface areas of the problems, like what's causing the problems, what does the leadership want, the change to happen in the employees if we're talking to business client. And what I do is I focus on the leadership and the root issues that are causing the challenges that they're having. So what that means is they're going to get basic awareness like you would in a general therapy session. You're going to start to understand the root of your problem internally and what's causing you to react or lead or be the way you are. But what I do differently is I will take that awareness once you are aware of it, or help you become aware of it like traditional therapy, and then actually create actionable change to not just deal with the symptoms, but to actually uproot the root issue so that you have actual change in your life.
That's interesting. So that sounds pretty holistic.
It is, yeah.
Are you working specifically with individuals? Do you work with groups? Do you work in with organizations? What does that kind of look like?
Yeah, good question. I work with individuals and groups and organizations.
Okay.
About half of my client base right now is just individual clients who have come with specific needs or specific awareness or specific change that they have not been able to make on their own. They've noticed patterns in their life or patterns in their relationships or patterns in their work, patterns in their leadership. And they're just like, I can't change this. No matter what I do, I haven't been changing it. And I kind of know what the problem is, but I don't know how to shift it. And then business is kind of the same way. They'll come in with problems where they have a general awareness of what they think the issue is, but they don't have a root understanding of where the problem is coming from. And generally that's from an area in the subconscious or a part of the ego that's attached to a past trauma that is kind of running the show in the background that they don't understand is running the show. So I'll teach them how to know the difference between when their ego is talking and when their actual authentic self is speaking to them, so that they can begin to diagnose themselves in their life interactions with their spouse, with their, teams, in their leadership of like, am I talking here, or is this my ego protecting my trauma? And then I'm projecting that on other people, and then give them the tools to actually shift the ego and to change the ego to stop protecting their trauma so they can stop projecting it on other people.
Wow. And I say wow like that because this seems so different than what I would expect of a business coach.
Yeah.
And it's giving me this vibe of you caring about the individual and affecting the individual's heart to help them improve their passion, which is hopefully their business or their career or the surrounding that they're in.
It affects all of it.
Yeah, and if that's all of it, it really does. And you don't as a layperson, you don't think about, how some trauma that you had as a teenager is affecting the way that you might interact with your subordinates within your organization or your business partners, and how that might affect the growth of your business. Mental health is not something that is readily talked about in a lot of parts of American society. And, one of the great things is that now it is really becoming a much more understood and much more talked about. But you seem to be right in there on that. How did where is this coming from? Where did your approach come from?
Yeah, that's a good question. Pain.
Okay.
My own pain in 2000, when I was 29, I don't remember the date. I remember the date if I had my kidney transplant, but when I was 29, I had kidney failure.
Okay.
And that was diagnosed from a birth defect that I'd actually had my entire life.
Wow.
I grew up in a very religious and controlling family that didn't believe in medical science or believe that God would take care of everything, which is a great belief. Unfortunately, it didn't take care of my health thing. So then in that respect, I spent 2 years on dialysis. During that time, I was actually a pastor in one of those huge mega churches that you now see on documentaries, which all remain nameless at this time. And that changed my life. Like going through 2 years of dialysis and getting my master's degree in theology and having to face a portion of pain that as a 29-year-old you wouldn't think would be facing, just shifted my perspective and shifted everything. And so I left that world going from $500,000 a year income to nothing and starting my life over. When that happened, I noticed anger and different things coming out of me that I'd never seen in my own life.
Right.
That led me to find a therapist that was referred to me by a friend. And I spent 5 years in psychotherapy with this therapist who diagnosed me with religious PTSD, workplace trauma,
Sure.
narcissistic abuse, and a number of different other things that helped me become aware of the traumas that I was facing and helped me see the traumas. But after 5 years of the psychotherapy, nothing changed.
Right.
Like I had, going to therapy made me feel better, and it gave me somebody to talk to, and it gave me somebody to process. So I wasn't doing that as much with like my wife at the time or other people in my life, but I wasn't feeling an internal change that I wanted. So I went on a deep dive of like, what do I do to change then? And I researched everything: holistic, scientific, Eastern, Western, meditation, breath work, like anything that's out there that's a buzzword or you've heard of or not heard of, read books on or studied, in order to create a process for me to actually change. And once honestly, it happened like this. I've been processing like how, as I was working with some clients already, like what was my specific process of transformation? What actually created the change? And I just sat down one day and felt through every single, notice I'm saying felt through, not thought through, felt through every step I went that actually created change. And I put that into my process, and that's the process I take through today. And the goal of it is, I don't work with people in perpetuity. I work with them through, I have 3 coaching packages, 6 sessions, 12 sessions, or 18 sessions. One is all about understanding your ego and doing ego work so that you can know the difference of when your ego is speaking and your authentic self is speaking. The second phase is called empowerment, which is doing ego work and shadow work. And shadow work is diving into the subconscious and understanding how the ego pulls from the subconscious to actually alert you with fear and alert you with these hard, heavy emotions that in Western society we learn to suppress or push away, and we don't want to deal with. But there's a lot of other tools out there that help us embrace these things and welcome them. And when we embrace them and welcome them, they begin to speak to us and actually set us free. And then the third phase is we call self-mastery, which is somatic work and body work and nervous system work, so that the individual can not just like understand when their ego is talking to them, but be able to dive into their own subconscious to make the changes they need, as well as understand when their nervous system is reacting to those traumas so they can feel it in their body and maintain an understanding of what their body is telling them before it gets to an emotion, before it gets to something that would come out of their mouth.
Right.
Like one of the things I like to say to business clients straight away is we all think the most powerful person at the table is the one that has the position and the one that has the money and the one that has the title. or the most influential person. It's absolutely not true. The most influential person in your business is the most self-regulated person. The person that is not going up and down, the person that is not getting tense in the meetings, the person that is not getting angry in a situation. Like, that's when you're able to think. And that's when you're able to like hear your authentic self and understand and come up with answers, and cause yourself less stress,
Right.
and quicker action time. And one of the things that's hard for people to understand in this process is the idea really is, especially in business, is going slow to go fast.
Right.
So instead of trying to speed everything up and stress everything out, let's go slow. You go slow in your personal process to understand what you're feeling so that you become a self-master at what you're feeling, so you're not wasting time on mistakes made in stress, which we do constantly. It's like, I got to get this thing out, and then you get it out and it's fucking broken.
Yeah.
And now you have to backtrack and waste all this time because you hustled to get it out, instead of like making sure you were the person that was calm and collective when you were putting together the project. That you can still get it out fast, but if you're calm and collected, you can work clear-headed and not under stress. That's self-mastery. Like, imagine a world. This is me getting a little bit ideal.
It's okay. Please do.
But imagine a world where everybody understood their own traumas and knew how to resolve them. Like, that would be a fantastic company. That would be a fantastic world. How we vote is based on our traumas.
Yeah.
So everybody's voting for their trauma to win. And imagine a world that we were actually making conscious decisions rather than voting and doing things based on our past pain that we're not even aware of. And that's my hope with the work, is that we can individually like help each other to resolve our own traumas so that we can create a world that's more conscious and more aware and more grounded and more thought-provoking, as opposed to more aggressive and more fighting.
More reactionary.
Yeah.
Wow. I feel like right now, I don't know about you people out there, but you may have just gotten a client, me. But very much, it's funny, you're a pastor. I feel like I've just been taking it.
Was a pastor.
What? Right. Let's get this.
I mean, once a pastor, always a pastor.
Right. But I think you're very good at, talking to issues that we all know. We all know we have trauma. I think part of the thing is that we don't know how to recognize it, address it, and move forward in a positive way. Because, as you said, in general, in American society, I won't say Western, but American society, emotion isn't something that is often talked about, especially from our generation. Right? It was, brush yourself off, boys don't cry. Women are put into a box of smile, smile, smile. And this, how you're talking about it, just feels liberating. And I love what I'm hearing. So how would people get in contact with you?
You can follow me on Instagram, Boxbreaker Life, at Boxbreaker Life, or my website, BreakBox Coaching and Creative. It's actually just breakboxcoaching.com. You could click a button on the main page for a free assessment, and we could talk for 30 minutes, kind of get the idea of like where you're going and what you see and where you want to go.
Okay.
And yeah, that'd be the best way.
Okay. I'll also put his contact details in the comments section. I'll pin it there. Hey, Zach, I definitely appreciate you spending some time with me this morning. And I look forward to talking and working with you in the future.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sure thing.